Um, Today is the last day, but it's very busy with the workshops, with panels, with some cases. There will be 2 cases. The first one, I will be telling a little bit about fundraising and giving some pieces of recommendation. I hope that will be helpful. We also have a case study from Planif about Cambodian governmental program, and I hope that also will be very interesting. He promised me to say some not only successful things, but also talking about mistakes, which is sometimes even more useful. We have one session, group session, where you will be once again working in your groups, talking about the values we can bring to the people who pay for us, for our activities. And we also have a panel with guys from big companies, from corporations. And I've prepared very tricky questions, and we'll be asking your colleagues from corporations from different countries about how they see the future of startup market. So that's a small announcement of the day's agenda. The last thing I want to say before we started the topic, if you are leaving earlier than we are giving the certificates to you, it's the end of the day, please tell us, we will give you a certificate on the stage, make a photo, so later you will have a nice photo to post. Tomorrow, maybe at Monday, we will share with you all photos. Videos will be a little bit later because the team needs some time to manage presentation inside, etc. And I think also very important, in the end of the day, maybe not all of you will be here, Assam will be presenting the grant policy from us, how to apply for a money grant from us to realize or support, to realize new startup initiative, or maybe to support existing one which you're already doing inside your organizations. We will be talking about what a startup initiative is, because it's very confusing, but we mean any program, like online, offline, breakfast with women entrepreneurs every month, I don't know, acceleration program for the whole island for the year, imagine anything, we are open to anything. We will be recording that thing on the video and later send to you, so you can watch if you are not here at that time, okay? Because you will have only 1 month to apply. So it's pretty tight deadlines. Okay, let me start. I want to talk about fundraising, and the most important thing I want to talk about is word, because as it's not easy to attract sponsors, it's much better when we have long relationships. So that's the main thing I want to talk about, how to, from my experience, how to maintain that and develop that relationships. A little bit of background, so also to understand if it's applicable or not. I was fundraising both from governmental organizations, some governmental grants, some governmental organizations who receive budget money and then spread later between organizations. Also from big companies, international one or local one, and even from like private companies who are not very big, like middle businesses. But frankly speaking, some rules works everywhere. Not all of them, but as far as long relationship is concerned, it's the same for all of them. Mostly I was fundraising for the events, but some events were not just one-day conference, but being a program like this one, for example, support program for ecosystem players, which happens annually every year. So literally, like, if we are talking in terms of some terms, it's an event, but I feel like it's a support program in format of event. Okay, let me start. What I want to talk about, 6 points. I don't want to read them. Let's go. Why do we need sponsors? Please answer me. Apart from money.
Well, I was going to say because the primary beneficiaries of the value that we provide are startups. They can't really afford to pay.
That's the main point. We can't receive money from our target audience. That's true. Why do we need sponsors? Okay, they will give money. That's the main thing.
Yeah, resources.
Some resources. Yeah. Sometimes it's not money. Some things. Yeah. Exposure. Yeah. Sometimes they have big exposure and they can help us to attract audience from their audience. Credibility. Yeah. Thanks. When you are starting to do something, you really need some strong guys being your friends. Using their reputation to grow your own reputation. Yeah, that's true. Any other ideas?
Their network or their client base.
Potential, yeah, their clients can be potentially our clients. Yeah, exposure once again. Yeah. Okay, that's true. You told me nearly everything. Some money, sometimes they are covering some costs, giving not directly money, but paying for something. That's also good. Sometimes we need them to have good speakers, you know. It also, some expertise. Status and reputation, you've said it. Some PR, it seems to me it's the same with status and reputation. Some network, which they also can bring. Okay, that's good. Why I was asking you about that. Sometimes when we are struggling with working with the budget and thinking about, oh my God, how I will pay salary to my team and even sometimes to myself, we don't remember that we need sponsors not only for money, but it's important to think about that. Because they're also thinking about that, and sometimes they can give us more than money. They can give us like future money because they, for example, have big reputation and we invest and maybe do the initiative in zero, like without any profit this year, understanding that next year will be profitable. So please remember about that when you're fundraising. The main thing I want you to talk about is that I truly believe that when we are talking with sponsors, it's one again a B2B sale, and we need to be very, very prepared with our proposition, value proposition to them. It should be packed, it should be very understandable, it should be very clear to them and to you when you are selling, or to your team if you are delegating that task. And I've decided to make a table with different types of sponsors. It's not the all-in-all list, but let us play with this one just to understand how it will be even with another segment. What I have here, governmental institutions, some ecosystem organizations who also have some maybe governmental budget money. Sorry for keeping everyone here just in one row, but let it be like that. Who also can be sponsors for ecosystem activities, for example, for having an accelerator, some venture capital. Okay. We also have corporations, and here I divided them in different groups because from my experience, they have very different motivation and very different problems we can solve with. From my experience, I have 3 departments I was dealing with. HR team, some business development team, sometimes it's called innovation department, sometimes it's startup department, sometimes now it can be venture fund. And the guys I really love to work with mostly is marketing OPR department. Usually they know best of all what they need in terms of some KPIs. Let us think, what do we offer here as a value proposition? What can we offer for governmental colleagues from the state? Speaking about any startup initiative. What can we offer them? Data. Okay, okay. Solutions. Do you think they are interested? Maybe?
The solutions in alignment with national strategic initiatives.
Okay, yeah, working with some area of the KPIs for some loan strategy. Okay. What usually I was put in the contract when we were dealing with the government. Usually the government is very interested in developing economy. How do they understand that economy is developed? By new jobs created, by new businesses created. Please correct me, being a state representative. Sometimes, if we are working with some educational state representative from the educational part, they want to educate people, so they count people educated. And even if it's a conference, we can think that our workshops and speeches educate people, you know? Maybe, but it's much more difficult to count that. Attracted investments in the economy. Some, I don't know, investments coming outside this country to the economy of the country we're doing the event in. As you can see, all this stuff is very countable. The point I am insisting on when you are thinking about sponsors and the value we can bring to them, think about it as some countable result. Because when you are like having the first meeting, it can be very inspiring. Signing the contract can be also very inspiring. Finally, we have money. But when the event is done, we need somehow understand, was it delivered as it was expected from both sides or not? That's why we need in the contract some countable measurement of the result. Okay, what can be VC interested in? If we are talking about some acceleration program, some startup event, I don't know, something like that.
Pipeline.
Pipeline, yeah, okay, okay. True, frankly speaking, that's the most common. The other thing is, if you are talking with some new VC or VC which is entering some new market, you also can sell this one. Like, okay, we will let you enter this market, share with the market your experience, people will know about you. It's not like 100% cases, but sometimes it works. It's a bit more about reputation and PR and marketing, but finally, usually it's pipeline. Here, once again, be careful. Usually VC have very strict rules. They need some geo, they need some exact stage, sometimes they need some industry. So it's also should be put in the contract from my experience, because later there can be some problems if you bring them, I don't know, too early startups or maybe vice versa, too grown-ups. Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay, if we are talking with the HR team of some corporates, what do you think we can offer them being a startup ecosystem players?
Solutions for
Maybe some solutions. I'm not sure. This is controversial.
But sometimes even some big corporations, sometimes they need something, then they need solutions, and maybe they can have some fresh ideas from outside rather than the
That's true, but usually, once again, from my experience, I'm not sure that works everywhere like that. As I seen from corporates I was dealing with, if company is searching for some startups to do pilots and to integrate some solutions inside, usually it's curated by the department like IT and development or some innovation department, but not by HR team themselves. That's the difference, but I'm not sure it's working like that everywhere. Maybe. What else? What HRs need? Mostly employees, sure. What else it can be? PR, HR branding. Yeah, it's once again about employees. What can it be more? We've seen lots of. We haven't got this this point. Yeah, sure, employees. Sure, some HR branding, but also sometimes they need to some startup initiatives to do inside to cheer up their employees or who are already employees of the company. So sometimes we can be helpful to invite the people to some startup activity, to cheer them up, to meet like the startup world, etc. Especially for some old companies who tried to make their culture more innovative, and they see that all the world is doing something with startups and their employees don't know about that. And they want us to integrate their employees in this startup world. Okay, innovation department and people who are dealing somehow already with startup world, what can we sell them? Solutions, sure. I think pipeline once again, because usually they need something to do, yeah. And here I have more points. Startup for future pilots, sometimes reputation, if they are working themselves with the startup world, they also need exposure. So people will know that XX corporation have some activities for startups and they need to show it to the world. And here, I am not sure this should be here. Maybe it's between HR and innovation department, it differs. The thing is, if corporations somehow have some products or services for small and medium businesses or for startups like Microsoft do, like Google do, like Amazon wants everybody to be on their cloud, they can be even hunting for some new clients. Please also think about that when you are going to the company. And the last one is corporates dealing with marketing and PR department. I think that is rather obvious. Usually it's a reputation at startup market, sure, and sometimes, once again, it can be potential clients if the company have anything to sell to our audience. Okay, can we go? Any comments? That's not the whole list. I just want you to understand that it really depends what to sell when you are talking with someone. As you can see, it differs a lot. But it can be the same startup conference, I don't know, the same acceleration program you're talking about, but you repack it for each client with different words and showing different results you can offer them. What is important when you're packing the value proposition? We have talked about that the KPI should be measurable. From my experience, especially for governmental institutions, because they measure us, somebody measure them, and it's a chain of measurement, which can be a rather strict one. Here is the thing I think you have an experience if you fundraise at least once. Usually we have someone in corporation or in state representatives who we know, or maybe we are not friends, but we know each other. Maybe it's our ex-colleague or something like that. And these people who in B2B sales have a name champions, they help us to sell. Maybe their department is not our client. It's not their budget. But they make us an intro with their colleague from the department who will be finally our client, you know. Giving some recommendations about us, that it's very nice people, very nice startup initiatives, please give money to them. And here is very important to divide. The person who helps you may have some requirements, may have some needs, and you can help him or her to deal with that. But also you should concentrate not only on him or her, but also the person and the team who directly giving the money you from their budget. Maybe it's obvious, but I've made few mistakes in this part. Because sometimes you're so involved in dealing with the person who believes in you, so you lose focus to work with someone who is signing the contract, you know? And sometimes their KPIs can be rather controversial to each other. For example, once I have a controversial case when the person, like champion, who was helping me to sell, wants coverage, wants lots of people to be involved. And the person who was signing the contract wants pilots. And you know, to find some 2 or 3 really good startups to have pilots later with corporation, it's not the same having a very big conference with very big exposure. It's like not the same task. So be careful. And the thing is, which I really believe and see from my experience, lead to more healthy and long-run relationships is be honest. For example, I've been sponsored by a company called Intel. I think everybody knows it, for a few years. But after a few years, their focus inside company changed pretty much. They received some news from headquarters, from USA, they changed the strategy, especially in our country, blah, blah, blah. And we have a very honest talk with the manager who was supporting me. He said, Dash, can we do something? I said, no, I don't see how I can now answer your questions, how I can help you to have a result you needed by company. And we didn't sign the next contract. We didn't sign it. And frankly speaking, I've never thought I should do that and making some magic. No, it was really good. And a few years after, he once again sponsored me because we find the space where we can help each other. He helped me by money, and I helped to receive the result he needed. So here I ask you to be honest, because it really works. It works long run. It may help you later when once again you will find some new space to create something together. The thing is that sponsors' experience from your events or startup initiatives are very important, because if you have happy client, it will be lasting longer. It's very obvious, but still try to manage expectations, because that helps to fundraise next year or next cycle of your startup initiative. A very tricky thing. I was making, oh my God, it's already 10:26. I will speed up a little bit. I have once, I was doing for 5 years a championship of business games to involve people into the entrepreneurship. And each game was rather small, like 60 people, 50 people, but in total we have 20 plus, sometimes 30, sometimes 40 per year games. And it was in 4 countries, it was rather big. And sometimes I was trying to attract sponsors. And they said, okay, I want to sponsor you, but I have a very small amount of money. And here is the tricky thing. When you have a sponsor who's trying to give you like not very big amount of money, please think, could you talk to them if they can give you more, if the exposure will be more, if you offer them more. The thing is, when you have a small contract, sometimes the transactional costs to create this contract, to do all the stuff needed around documental aspect, can be more expensive than the money you receive. So that's very important to think about that, because I had cases when I refused sponsors because I understand it's not profitable. Like it's too small to be profitable because we have some costs to process the contract. Yeah, very obvious recommendation, start with warm contracts. And we were talking about that already. Okay. How to attract sponsors and close the deal. First of all, warm contacts, why contracts? Okay, warm contacts works better. Incoming leads, it's very nice. When the sponsors call you and said, I want to give you money, and you say, yeah, I'm ready. But please check. Because sometimes we're so excited and have some mistakes. From my experience, cold leads outreach, when you are just writing people you think could be interested, also works. Of course, it has not so good conversion, but still, it works. Especially when you're understanding what to write exact person, what KPIs can be he or she interested in. Few more recommendations. When you have a refusal, ask why. That's very important to understand what happened, why your initiative not working for this company. Communicate with all stakeholders involved. We have talked about that. This thing is the most important, I think. When you are writing letters, when you have a call, when you have a meeting, always end up it with the question. Like, can you please provide us with the answer till next Monday? So people after the meeting, after the letter, should understood what are you expecting them to do. Because usually sponsors, like the letter to require sponsorship looks like, we are doing such a nice initiative, please sponsor us, it's very good, signature, that's all. The thing is that there should be some call to action in the end, and it should be very exact. Like, we are waiting for your answer till 15th of December. Yeah, it's and that one again about the deadlines. And I recommend to be stubborn. It really works when you are like chasing the person until the company said no. After that, you're once again chasing, asking why no, and that's all. Here the terror can be ended. What can I say about accounting partners? When you already have partners involved, if there are more than 2 or 3, I highly recommend you to play with the Google Sheets and create some CRM. Because usually in every sponsor's pack, we have some, not only one service. Usually it's like logo there, logo here, some pilots, some contacts, giving some contacts. Here we have a dinner for the sponsors or something else. So we have some list of services we provide the sponsor with. And it's better for the team to monitor which is already provided, which is not. And we were doing like something like that. It looks like a CRM, you have a partner, you have some services, and you just have here some cells with need to be done, in process, done, or something like that. If you want, I can share the table later with you. And building long-run relationships, and I need to finalize. The first thing, when you are inviting some partners and sponsors inside your activity, please check if it's really related, because sometimes we are very hungry. That's okay. Ecosystem players are usually hungry. It's okay for us to be hungry, like for founders. But I really want you to check if it's relevant to the concept of your event. Sometimes it looks very strange, you know. And here, I think for long-run concept of the event, for long-run relationships, it's better to invite relevant sponsors, not only willing to pay your money, but being relevant and being interested in the exact content, not only being exposed, like having a logo on your website. Once again, evaluate the profitability, because sometimes small contracts not worth to take. I'm using a lot a deadline as a tool to push partners to decide. Like, okay guys, you have 10 days to decide, because later I won't be able to integrate you. And it's true, sometimes it's even true 100%. If there are much time before the initiative, it can be a little bit tricky, but I think it's good to use that. The same thing, I'm also using like your competitors, another bank already with us, please decide. So I informed that some partners, some potential competitors or some potential companies from the same market already with us. So decide, do you want to be there? It also can be a tool for like closing. And very shortly, you will see it later in the presentation. It's my idea of the structure, how sponsorship presentation package should look like. First of all, very short pitch what is going on. Use photos, it's not the first event. Include some success stories, some bright speakers, some feedback quotes from your participants. This is emotional part. It should be first like, wow, wow, wow. And I believe you're really doing wow events. Then we need to come to ratio and put some numbers, segments, and better to describe the motivation why audiences participate in this initiative. And also what exact aims can be received within this partnering for partner. Pilots, solutions, exposure, what we talked a few slides before. Once again, some KPIs of the event this time. I am illustrating with photos. For example, you are saying you will have a logo on the stage. If you have this exact event last time and have a photo of any logo of any company on the stage, put this photo on this slide so people will understand how it looks like. This thing is very, very bad, really. I'm now being as inDrive employee, receiving lots of people trying to have sponsorship from us. Different conferences, some initiatives, and sometimes pricing looks like, oh my God, I need to have some drugs to understand what's going on in this table. I truly believe you have seen such tables. Like, you never understand how much I should pay to be a sponsor of that event. So please make it simple. It should be obvious. not like hundreds types of packages, golden, semi-golden, semi-golden. Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. Please, keep it simple. It's very important, really. Because sometimes I'm really stuck with that thing and don't want to do anything. I just, okay, I do not understand, I will not pay. List of partners. Here can be some big companies already on board, which can, and this information can push your potential sponsor also to become a sponsor. And of course, contacts and deadlines, guys, and deadlines. That's really very important, that you also have a power to refuse because of too late decision. That's very important. And you have this power. You can't integrate sponsors 10 days before conference. His logo even couldn't be printed on the, I don't know, banner, you know. That's all. Any questions? Uh-huh.
From your experience, do you think that there are potential European sponsors players looking to promote their business in Southeast Asia? So, or does it make sense to focus on local players in your market in order to establish the potential value and the relationship?
That's a good question. I think that really differs. I know that there are some international companies who are entering this exact market, testing something even before having a company here. So you should know some plans of the company. It's the first thing. The second thing, I've seen few ecosystem players who developing international businesses around startup ecosystem. For example, Startup Award. Unfortunately, the CEO of this company hasn't come here. He should be the speaker of this session of this topic. For example, they're having an award. They have an award in macro regions: Startup Award of Europe, Startup Award of LATAM, Startup Award of Asia. And I think that's a good example of how some companies can conquer the market. And in this case, you can be trying to make some partnership with them. Why not? But the thing is, it's better when you have, when the company you're talking with have some team. Maybe they are not working just here in Jakarta. Maybe they are in some head office in other country. But if there are some special people who are oriented and focused on dealing with, for example, Southeast Asian market, that will be easier to speak with. So it should be some level of maturity that they are like trying to enter this market at least. Or it will be very, very long talk. Maybe for even few years, you know.